Along Kenya's southeastern coast, the ocean is more than just water. It is life itself. For generations, the Shirazi community has depended on the sea. Fishing is their heritage, identity, and survival.
Watu wa Munje huwa si wakulima sana. Wao sana wanategemea bahari kwa shughuli zao za kila siku.
Mimi nimefanya kazi ya uvuvi karibu miaka 30 sasa. Niko baharini baada ya kumaliza masomo yangu 1975 ya darasa la 7, ndio nilianza kazi zangu za baharini, nikasoma kidogo falahi, soma dini kidogo, alafu nikarudi nyumbani kwa masomo, kwa uvuvi tu.
But today, the ocean that once provided abundance is changing. The fish are disappearing. The reefs are dying. And for Shirazi, a way of life is at risk.
Mimi kwanza umenifaidi vizuri kwa sababu kwanza nimesomesha watoto. Alafu nimejenga nyumba zangu na huo uvuvi. Kwa hivyo sikuwa haukunifaidi sana, umenifaidi sana, na pia watoto wangu wamesoma mpaka wamaliza college, wengine wamaliza form 4. Kwa hivyo umenifaidi uvuvi na bado unanifaidi mpaka sasa. Ni nguzo muhimu ambayo tunaitegemea sisi wavuvi wa Shirazi.
Humu kando ambamo ilikuwa bahari kichafuka, wavuvi wanaweza kupata samaki na kaenda kujikimu mahitaji yao ukifikia ule wakati wa mwaka, lakini sasa hii humu kando hamna samaki.
Zamani nilikuwa nikitoka saa 2 mpaka nifika saa 8 naweza pata kilo 30 40 mpaka kuendelea 50. Lakini siku hizi ungeweza kushinda asubuhi, nimetoka asubuhi leo mimi mpaka nimerudi hapa nirudi na nusu kilo, unaona. Lakini zamani ulikuwa uvuvi ni moja tu, ukienda baharini samaki unashika vile ambavyo umempangiwa kupata. Lakini sasa hivi umeharibika kwa sababu imekuwa ni changamoto sana, uvuvi haramu. Ndio kwa nataka tufunge kwa sababu ya uvuvi haramu ambao wanatuharibia bahari.
Once, Kenya's coastline was known as the White Gold Coast, a place of bounty where the ocean provided for thousands. But today, the ocean is becoming barren. Climate change is warming the ocean. Pushing fish further from shore. Overfishing has stripped the reefs bare. Pollution is choking the marine life. Communities that have depended on these waters for centuries now face an uncertain future. According to the 2023 Kenya Fisheries Service report, the fishing sector supports about 1.5 million people, 65,000 as fishermen and 70,000 as fish farmers. But their future is uncertain. fishermen braved the unforgiving water through the night. Only to return with empty nets. Yet, in their hearts, they carry unwavering hope for a better tomorrow. In the midst of this crisis, one woman is leading the fight to save the ocean and those who depend on it. Meet Catherine Muyonga, a marine conservationist, diver, and community trainer, dedicated to protecting marine life and educating coastal communities.
Tapping into the marine resources will economically empower fisherfolk communities that entirely depend on the marine resources. And this week, we focus on gender equality and women involvement in the marine sector. Our focus is on Catherine Muyonga, a communication expert and also an environmental enthusiast who is now turning the tides of the ocean by tapping into these resources and also empowering young girls getting into this space.
For many decades, women have been left behind in making decisions that influence policies in governing the marine resources. But I intend to use my voice, my skills, and abilities as a storyteller to help these women come on the forefront of making this decision and also shining in this space.
Catherine, a science journalist and a conservationist, saw the decline firsthand. Reporting on the crisis wasn't enough. She wanted to be part of the solution.
My entry point into marine conservation and doing science communication in marine conservation happened by chance, because it was that period of transitioning between school and work when my lecturer reached out to me and told me there is this NGO working in marine conservation in Mombasa that was looking for a communications intern to start their communications department. She asked me if I felt I was up to the challenge. I said yes. I applied, went through the interviews, and that is when I started marine conservation. Before that, I knew of the ocean, and the opportunities I knew of the ocean was only in terms of blue economy. But at that point, I did not understand the background work that went into making sure that the ocean was actually sustaining the blue economy industry. So getting into Comrade opened my eyes to the possibilities and the work that goes into sustaining and maintaining the health of the ocean.
Today, I'm accompanying Catherine on her daily journey. She meticulously collects data on the marine life. With each dive, she documents the rhythm of the ocean, tracking species, recording patterns, and uncovering hidden stories beneath the waves.
The marine space is male dominated. When I got in, at first it was challenging because I could not see enough women. I could not see as many women as I wished to see. And I think what that did to me, it just challenged me further, because being a firstborn in a family of 6 girls, I felt like whatever I do directly influences how they perceive life and how they take life from their own. So even though I was coming into an industry that is male dominated, I understood what I wanted to do. I had my skills, I understood my craft, and I had the passion for it. So regardless of whether I was surrounded by men or not, that did not really deter me from doing what I wanted to do.
The Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change 2021 report estimates ocean temperatures have risen by 1.5 degrees Celsius since the pre-industrial era, leading to coral reefs loss, essential fishing breeding grounds. In East Africa, fish stocks are dwindling as species struggle to adapt. A 2022 study by Kenya Marine Fisheries Resources Institute found that over 20% of fish samples from Kenya coastal water contained microplastics, raising concerns about seafood safety and human health. By tracking these changes, Catherine and her team work towards sustainable solutions.
So as a diver and a science communicator, I've been able to do a course in underwater surveys. So when we go into the ocean, we are looking at what type of fish are we seeing in that area. So there is a listed number of fish, I think 14 families we are supposed to look at. So when you see these fish families in an area, you know that either this area is doing well or it's not doing well. On the other hand, you also collect information about what do you see on the seafloor. The corals that you're seeing, are they dead? Are they alive? Are they bleached? So when you see this information, you take records, you take data in that specific area. The other thing that we look at when you go into the ocean, we look at the seagrasses. What type of seagrasses are we seeing? Are they in abundance? What percentage of that area are they covering? So when you're able to collect this information about fish population, the state of the flow of the ocean and the seagrasses, you are able to understand if an area is doing well or not. So if a community is already doing restoration measures in that area and you see abundance of the fish that you're looking for, the seagrasses are doing well and there is live corals, then you are able to come back to them and tell them, hey, see, these are the photos. This is where we started, this is where we are right now. And they are able to understand when you tell them either their restoration efforts are working, or if they're not restoring, then you can tell them, this is the status of your area.
Community-led conservation is essential. Catherine empowers fishers and traders with sustainable practices, teaching them innovative fishing techniques, improved storage methods, and alternative income sources.
communication is something that is mostly lacking in the marine space. So there is an opportunity for me to communicate the information that the marine scientists need to reach policymakers, the people who are funding the initiative that they are doing, and most importantly, being able to communicate to the communities they are working with and who are the direct resource managers. So this is an opportunity for me to bridge both conservation and other audiences. So that is how I use communication in my work.
How does that impact community involvement in marine resource management?
That affects community involvement in marine resources because if people are able to see what you're telling them to conserve, then you're moving the movement forward. But if you just tell them that seagrasses are getting destroyed, corals are bleaching, but they are not able to see corals, they don't even understand what that means to them, then it becomes impossible to connect with them.
So you use visuals from what you get from underwater to communicate?
Yes, I use a lot of photos, a lot of videos to communicate with the communities that we work with. Because then when you tell them, hey, your ocean has bleached, these are the corals, this is how they used to look like, this is how they look now, you see the change on their faces. You see how they are inspired to want to do more to protect their resources.
Through her effort, communities are embracing responsible fishing, safeguarding marine life while ensuring long-term economic stability.
When it comes to marine conservation and the messaging that comes out of it, it is very important that the communities who live near the ocean, who directly depend on the resource, are able to understand what you're communicating with them. But then sometimes there is low literacy levels, and even those that have gone to school might not be scientists. So you need to break down this information to sometimes even the local dialect, which sometimes can be difficult because, for instance, in these communities where we work, something like climate change does not really have a vernacular name for. So you do not know how to break down such information to a very simple way that the people that you're actually targeting can understand what you're talking about. Being a science communicator and advancing that with adding on top a skill in scuba diving has really been important in my work, because with me being under the water, I am able to see the things I am communicating to people about. So I am able to see the fish, see how they behave underwater. I'm able to see the seagrasses, understand when you tell me that they are not in good health. So that personal connection with the environment gives me a better way to express the message that I want to pass to the people about their resources and conservation. So the information we get from under the water when we do our surveys helps us to inform first policymakers. So we tell them these are the measures you're supposed to take to protect the ocean. 2, the information we get from underwater helps the community to be best informed on what they're supposed to do to better manage their resource. And again, this information that we get from the water, for me as a communications person, I'm able to take photos, I'm able to take videos. So for the person that is funding initiatives that we are doing, we're able to show them this is where we started, this is where we are, and that is how we get support to continue doing the work that we're doing with communities.
For women in the community, solutions go beyond fishing. Catherine has introduced peer-to-peer training on marine conservation, cultivating responsible communities for self-sustenance.
So the first thing that I have been able to do with coastal communities in the places where we work is to teach them how to tell their stories. So teaching them photography, videography, and how to do simple edits. So the most rewarding part of that is seeing somebody that was once very shy, they can't even come close to a camera. Just when you just arrive in the community, they're running for your camera, they're taking photos, and when they bring back the camera, when you look at the photo, it's just amazing. The other rewarding part of my work is the people that we've been able to train to do underwater surveys.
Yale mafunzo ambayo mumepewa na mradi ambao unaletwa na KET, wewe kibinafsi amekusaidia vipi kama mvuvi na mambo ya monitoring?
Kama monitoring, kama mimi imenisaidia monitoring kwanza. Sahi kama mimi Njonjo najivunia kuwa monitoring.
Inakusaidia vipi?
Alafu pili nasaidia community. Alafu tatu, wakati mwingine napigiwa simu. Ushaniona napigiwa simu. Huyo ni Salim. Huyo ni Salim kutoka mahali fulani. Tunamhitaji, tuna kazi mahali fulani siku fulani. Sababu ya KET sio ujanja wangu, mimi alikuwa sijui kuna mambo ya monitoring. Lakini yeye ametuletea mafunzo na tumefanya na yeye. Na mpaka sasa hii hata mimi hapa sasa hii mtu akitoka atajivunia Njonjo ni monitoring.
Wewe na KET ukiingia baharini. Kama leo mnataka kuingia baharini, mnaenda kufanya nini? Na nini hasa lazima mbebe?
Sasa inategemea. Tunaingia baharini.
Kama leo mnaenda kufanya nini?
Kama leo sasa hapa tulipo sija change. Nita change. Nichukue futi kamba. Tuchukue sleti. Tushamaliza sleti, tutachukua maski. Tutachukua fins. Ushanielewa? Hapo itakuwa tuko form. Tushabadilisha, tunaingia kwa maji. Tukiingia kwa maji tunaenda tukafanya monitoring.
Hiyo mashine ya nini?
Hii mashine sasa, hii hatufanyi monitoring mpaka hii. Hii mashine sasa, tukiingia kwa maji tuna pointi mahali. KET hapa panafaa, hapa Njonjo hapafai, tufanye pale. Tukiweka hapo tunategemea sasa tunataka tufanye ya samaki, ya matumbawe ama ya seagrass. Na ile KET, mimi na KET itakuwa tumepointi, tunaingia tutafanya ya nini. Tutaweka hii futi kamba yetu. Hii ndio tutatumia. Tutaweka hapa, tutafunga na mahali. Alafu ndio tutahesabu hizo nini tunataka, hizo futi tunataka ama hizo mita tunataka. Yes.
Data gani kwa mnaandika pale?
Sasa hii data, hii sasa ni data. Tumeingia pale, tumeangusha tepu, tunachukua data ya samaki. Sawa? Sasa kama ni data ya samaki, itakuwa tushapiga kamba yetu. Kama ni ya samaki, tushapiga kamba. Huku right, mkono right tutaenda 2.5 upana, na left tutaenda 2.5 upana, urefu tutaenda 50. Ushanielewa? Hapo tunachukua data tu ya samaki. Alafu sasa tukiingia, kama ni mimi na KET, tutakuwa ni wawili. KET atakuwa na, kwa sababu mfano KET atakuwa na hii ni slate. Mimi nitakuwa niko na kamba. Ama mimi nitakuwa na slate, KET yuko na kamba. Sasa inategemea tutakuwa ubavu hivi mimi na KET, ama mimi nitakuwa mbele, KET yako nyuma yangu. Sasa atakuwa anachukua hiyo data, na lazima KET kama yeye ndo anaandika hiyo data, anachukua data awe mbele. Kwa sababu mimi nikiwa mbele nitakuwa watu au samaki nitakuwa mimi nawafukuza. Sasa ataenda kama pengine ni rabbit, atahesabu yeye mwenyewe ukisia sijui wale 10 ataandika hapa. Inategemea ataandika vipi, kwa sababu kuna mara nyingi tunaweza tuweke sini 5, tutaweka 1 2 3 4 5. Hiyo kama utaweza atachukua, amechukua hapo, atajaza data yake, ataenda ataangalia ni butterfly ni wangapi butterfly, wale butterfly fulani atajua wao ni 20.
Butterfly na samaki pia. Ni kipepeo wale.
Ndio hicho kipepeo tunaita aisha chombo yako.
Sasa wewe kama mvuvi, hii data ina muhimu gani?
Sasa umuhimu wa hii data sasa, sababu ina umuhimu. Tumeingia kwa maji, vile tulivyoviona pale kwa maji, unaona tumevichukua vyote tumeviweka hapa. Ushanielewa? Sasa hata wewe hapa juu, mfano nikija utaniuliza sasa alikuwa umeenda fanya nini pale kwa maji. Tunachukua mfano, nitakwambia sasa pale kwa maji nimeenda na KET, lakini alikuwa tunafanya hivi. Si unaona? Sasa hata wewe utakuwa ushaelewa kwamba kumbe mkiingia pale na hizo vitu vyenu mnafanya hii kazi.
Na kwa BMU sasa inawasaidia vipi? Kujua ina samaki ama kufanya nini?
Sasa hii kwa BMU ina mafunzo, si kujua tu aina fulani ya samaki. Hii kwa BMU, nikienda kwa BMU kuna aina za fulani za samaki kwanza zitakuwa hapa. Ushanielewa? Alafu sasa kuna data pia itakuwa hapa tumeichukua. Ushanielewa? Sasa kuna mwingine ambaye hajui kuchukua data, kuna mwingine ambaye hajui hizo aina za samaki, atasoma kutoka hapa.
So uhusiano wako na Kate leo umefanya kazi pamoja, wewe kwako imekusaidia vipi?
Kate amenisaidia na bado ananisaidia. Na hata pia sahi naona pia kuna hiyo mambo na diving. Unaona? Nikisoma diving vitu ambavyo vitanisaidia mimi. Ushaniona? Na pia itakuwa niko kazi watalii watakao kuja, nikienda Kisite ninaenda kwa diving. Pengine mbali na Kisite na sehemu nyingine kama ni mambo na wageni, hiyo ni mambo na diving. Na yote ni kazi ninayofanya mimi na Kate. Alafu pia kuna kama community itakuwa nasaidia community. Ushanielewa? Kwa hiyo pia itakuwa ni matunda kutoka kwa Kate yeye na mimi.
Sustainability is about more than just fishing. It is about education, ensuring future generations become stewards of the ocean. Catherine believes change starts with knowledge. By teaching children about plastic pollution and empowering women in financial literacy, she is shaping a more resilient community.
There's been quite a number of challenges in trying to communicate the marine conservation or scientific information or messages in conservation. So there has been a long history of complex messaging when it comes to conservation. So you find that when these messages are really complex, it becomes difficult for the people who directly depend on the marine resources to understand how connected they are and how connected their livelihoods are to the ocean. The other challenge is you find there is gender disparity. Sometimes you have a message that you want to reach the entire population, inclusive of men, women, youth, and children, but you find that because of existing gender disparities or cultural barriers, it is difficult to collectively reach all audiences that you need to reach with your communication information. The other challenge has been breaking down complex data and information to simple languages that every part of your audience can relate to and understand.
Catherine's work in marine conservation extends beyond immediate interventions. It aims to create lasting, sustainable impacts on the marine ecosystems and the livelihoods of coastal communities.
One of the challenges that could contribute to women not taking up a lot of the opportunities in the marine space could be the nature of the work. For instance, you're supposed to be in the ocean sometimes for more than 3 hours. That can take a toll on your body. Then also sometimes the ocean is so rough. I think most of the women will feel like that is a very hazardous environment to be in. But really, if we are here and we are doing it, it only means that it is not that scary, it is not that difficult. As long as you understand what you want to do, you can get things done.
The fight for our ocean is far from over. The future for our oceans depends on us. Through knowledge, action, and commitment, people like Catherine are making a difference. One dive, one lesson, and one community at a time. For Culture Quest, I'm Levis Musumba.